Here we go. This is definitely the beginning of our podcast for today. Welcome, everybody, to Christmas and New Year's.
Yeah, it's 6 p.m. on the dot right now.
It's 6 p.m.
For me, it's 6 p.m. for me, 1 p.m. for you.
Yep, that's right. It's 1 p.m. for me, exactly.
It's not 19 minutes after.
Nope.
We did not have any technical issues.
There were no technical issues. My internet's fine. Didn't have to use a mobile hotspot on my computer that I completely forgot even had Wi-Fi.
But see, now you know. See, that's actually a really good thing. That the fact now that you know, if all else fails, you do have the hotspot. And so, even network issues don't really have to prevent you from continuing to work or do something.
Yeah, but I can't stream with my hotspot. I don't
Yeah,
have
it's
enough
true.
data.
It's true, but still. Arguably, you could still stream, just not necessarily games. You just stream yourself and just talk.
I mean, that still uses the bitrate that it uses, though, so...
You have a profile. Have a really crappy quality stream,
There you go.
Just like
There's
240p.
Yeah, going back to my roots.
Come on, that'd be awesome. You wear the cowboy hat?
I still have to get a cowboy hat.
Well, you make one out of paper.
Yeah, I'll just make
no
one.
No one will know. How will people know it's a real cowboy hat with the 240p stream?
It's true. They have no way of knowing. Yeah, I'll get a permanent marker and color it black, and we're all set. I should be all right. We got the hotspot today on my beautiful Samsung phone. Coming off my beautiful Samsung phone. We got that 5G, so, I'm getting a lot of cancer as we speak right now because of this.
Yeah, but embrace it, That's part of the fun of 5G.
That's right. The cancer?
Yeah. It's like, that's how you know you live in the future, is when devices give you cancer. People were saying how, Wi-Fi is giving you cancer, 3G is giving you cancer. But now it's actually possible. Now we've come to the point in technology where maybe now we can actually do something to the body. And isn't that something to be proud of? That as a human species, we've achieved gamma radiation in the form of a cell phone?
In another 10 years, we're all just going to be walking hulks.
Yeah. Well, isn't that how it works?
This
is the good kind of cancer. This is the good kind of cancer that you're getting from the 5G. That's why it's G for good.
Oh, yeah, the G means good.
Exactly.
That's right. That's what I'm just going to start telling people.
Honestly, I wouldn't want to be a Hulk, though, because think about it. The world's not built for people that big. That'd be miserable.
Yeah, but they'll figure it out. I mean, everybody will be dumb as bricks, but they'll figure it out. If you're like the Hulk, you're going to be stupid, so it's not
But ignorance
really gonna...
is bliss. Everyone's going to be... The intelligence of the human species will be, it'll average out pretty well, actually.
That's true. Yeah. Some people are actually going to go up when they become the Hulk.
Yeah, it'll be fascinating.
There you go. Well, got any interesting Christmas or New Year's facts to tell us?
Well, so let me start, because I think this is fun to start on. I don't know if you remember a couple of weeks ago, we were playing with Joel. You guys were talking about how much you love the retrospectives for, on Steam replays, for example, the one that people thought I was making up, and other services. Well, even though I dislike them, I thought I would share the podcast's Spotify Wrapped retrospective.
Ah, yeah, go for it.
So there we go. It's the 2024 Wrapped. That's what it's titled as from Spotify. So this is only Spotify, though. We don't have keep in mind, audience, not everybody's listening on Spotify. So whatever statistics I say here are not representative. But yeah, let's get started. Here's the first thing. It says, fans were really loving your show in 2024. You took it to a whole new level this year. You gained plus 20% streams, which I imagine is like listening. So 20% more. That's great, isn't it? Compared to the previous year.
That's great, but what are the hard numbers?
Hey, hold on. Plus 14% followers. Come on, that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Your fans have a clear favorite, so they gave you the most listened to episode. It was episode number 78, Sound of a Smile.
What do we talk about on that one?
Yeah, I'm gonna read it. So Sound of a Smile was the final episode of season 3. So here's the quotation, because I put quotations for each episode. This was your turn for a quotation, and you said, "I think the best I can hope for is that I can be a cautionary tale to future generations, so that they can lead a better life than I do." Wise stuff, I think.
That's very inspiring.
I know, It's probably the most legitimate quote out of all of them. Anyway, so we talked about Futurama, the Simpsons movie, You reviewed Invincible, your favorite show.
Yeah, season 3's coming very soon.
You're looking forward to it. It won't be mediocre like the other one.
Yeah, no, actually, this one is looking pretty good because I don't know, they're saying like every episode is going to be like a mini movie, and everyone's gonna feel like a season finale. So we'll see what that means.
Wow.
Hopefully, it bounces back from what I thought was the lows of season 2.
We also talked about Malcolm Gladwell's Blink because we had a few episodes on that. But yeah, that was a par for the course for a good episode.
Yeah, and that was when we did the it wasn't the finals, it was the penultimate
S&P 500
of the S&P. Yeah,
that's right. Yes. So that was the top episode. Let's see. So the reason why it was the top, it was streamed 94% more than your average episode. So basically twice
it's
as
almost
often.
twice.
I know.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Wow.
I don't know what people were thinking. Maybe it was the title. Maybe that drew their attention.
You need to just start making really clickbait titles.
I tried though. I tried to make them clickbaity.
But you got to do ones like Trump's doing what in the way? Trump's doing what to the Pope? Like,
that could be the title actually, because I only take whatever was said. It has to be something that was uttered.
I just said it, so we're good to go.
There we go. That's our title. Great.
That's right.
That's the Christmas episode.
That's right. Yeah, Trump's doing what to the Pope on Christmas?
So the next section is ever wondered who your audience is? Okay, let's see. They break it down for us by age. So listeners by age, and you'll never guess what. 18 to 24s, 20%. 30 to 34, 20%. 35 to 44, 20%. 45 to 54, 20%. 55 plus. Do you want to guess what this is?
20%.
20%. I don't know how the numbers break down so evenly. It feels like that
because
could only happen.
Only have 5 viewers, it's really easy to hit a. Well, I guess it's not really easy to hit a spread, so that makes it even.
But hold on,
more impressive.
That's the fascinating thing to me, because we don't have 5 listeners. What it means is
some kid is listening to us, because we know your parents are doing it, are listening.
No, but see, that's the thing. So nobody I know, except for my sister, listens on Spotify.
Oh, okay. They're right. This is Spotify specifically.
That's why I said it's not really representative. So, and then the next section is where in the world.
We don't know where Joel
been?
listens to it.
Well,
this is specific.
That's true. He could be, I guess. He could be the 18-year-old.
Joel, you're famous now.
So, where in the world have you been? In 2024, your show traveled the globe. You were streamed in 6 countries.
Wow.
Yeah, United States was your top country.
Okay, that means at least 6 viewers. Okay.
Now, it said your youngest listeners are from Bulgaria. So for the youngins in Bulgaria, thank you for listening. And then our oldest are from Indonesia.
Wow.
The old timers, How's it going there in Indonesia?
Yeah. Are your grandkids taking care of you?
Good point. I don't know how it is in Indonesia.
Yeah, how does it work in Indonesia?
So the next thing was your fans have great taste, obviously. Other than your show, they also loved. And here's where it gets interesting. They get to
if Joe Rogan's on there, I'm stopped. This is the last podcast I'm ever doing.
Unfortunately, he was not. But we would be in good company, wouldn't we? Anyway, so here's where it gets interesting, because we can peek into people's private lives this way.
Yep.
Given how few listeners we have.
That's right.
So, because normally companies don't allow this type of data when you only have a handful. So the first number 1 show was RHLSTP with Richard Herring. I have no idea what this is. It's probably some guy.
What is it?
RHLSTP.
Award-winning series in which comedian Richard Herring, the podfather from The Guardian, chats with some of the biggest names in comedy and entertainment. So he's a comedian. So apparently we're like comedians.
That's right. Look at that. That's pretty good. Good company. The number 2 one was, and this is hard for me to pronounce, Siech Maulana Hizboil Wathoni. I don't know what language that's in, but thank you.
That's the Bulgarians.
No, I don't think so. It looks, I don't know. It looks kind of like, the picture looks like an Arabic type of thing. So I don't know. Number 3 was the Nature Podcast. So everybody knows nature.
Good choice. Yeah.
Number 4 is Tabula Rasa. which is, I don't know, because tabula rasa is a general thing, but I guess somebody named their podcast after it.
Well, tabula rasa means blank slate, so...
So it's a podcast with nothing in it.
Wait, it's just tabula rasa, right? Because there's one that's called Tabula Rasa Bitches, and it's a Buffy rewatch show.
I mean, that sounds pretty cool.
This one says Tabula Rasa audio drama podcast. Blind woman has a premonition of an assassination but can't remember the details of her own life.
Nah, that's probably not it.
Tabula Rasa The Hatch, a lost podcast. I'm thinking whatever it is, it's probably something related to a TV show.
Could be. But, and then number 5 is, and this is another one that's hard to pronounce, Pangajian Abuya Usi Silongok. And the picture is a bunch of people dressed in religious clothing. I don't know what religion.
That could be very similar. I don't know. Just like Pangea is what the world or the Earth mass was referred to.
No, not Pangea, but Pangian.
Oh, okay, all right.
Pangajian. Anyway, I don't know. It could be related to that. Who knows? I won't pry. I don't want to do that. Let's not spoil people's private lives.
Well, the reason they give you these kind of things, they give it on Twitch too. The reason they give you these kind of things is so that you can see maybe what your communities are also interested in, with the goal kind of being like, you should find out what these are or connect with these other content creators if you can.
Be a guest. Be a guest on Richard Herring's
Not necessarily
podcast.
be a guest, but just like if this is what they're interested in, maybe you guys are kind of in the same circle, so you should either maybe not necessarily collaborate, but find out what it is that you share in common, and to be able to further expand your circle on that basis. So it's not privacy breach that they're doing it. They're doing it to
I get it. I'm
help you connect.
I'm poking fun. It's only a privacy breach, in my opinion, because it's such a small data set, so you can kind of pinpoint who's who.
Yeah.
That's why.
That's true.
But
that's true.
I mean, no, I'm happy to see it. You're right, though. We could emulate the nature podcast, become more.
Yeah, you gotta find out what they talk about and find out what people like about them.
Well, you're right. Maybe we can look into it. Maybe the next episode will be dedicated to Pangajian Abuya Usi Silongok. Who knows?
Maybe.
The next section was music. So because obviously Spotify, it's for music mostly. So the number 1 listened to music by the people who listen to us was French jazz. Oh, fancy.
That is fancy.
Number 2, art pop. I have no idea what that is, but also sounds fancy. And number 3 was pop. So, typical. There was only 3.
People who watch us listen to pop.
Yes.
French jazz is interesting.
Hey, I think a lot of people listen to pop, let's be honest. Pop is a very general term.
That is true, yeah. What's the difference between French jazz and regular jazz?
Maybe French jazz uses the French
More
horn.
French horns?
Yeah.
Huh, I don't know. Interesting. Okay.
And then it says they didn't just listen. 50% of your audience watched video on Spotify this year, which I'm kind of confused. I didn't know Spotify had proper video, but that's nice, I guess.
Yeah, me neither. I don't watch video. Although, to be fair, like, sometimes if I play a song on Spotify, it'll show, like, if it has a music video, it actually will show the music video.
It'll either show the music video or like clips, and it kind of stitches them together in some addictive way.
It does do video, technically.
It does, yeah. But I don't know if it has anything dedicated to it. Or I wonder, for example, if somebody has a video side to their podcast. You know how, like, again, I reference Joe Rogan because that's the only one that comes to mind. He has video to his podcast on YouTube. I wonder if Spotify has that video as well.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then I think this is the last one. It asks, what kind of creator are you? And it gives a little breakdown, and it says your creator personality, the storyteller. We tell stories on this podcast. Can you believe it?
How do they know that, though?
I have no idea.
Maybe that's just an AI thing or something?
I don't know, but that is it. That is our retro for our podcast for 2024. So thank you for listening.
Wait, so does it give us hard numbers?
No hard numbers. It doesn't want to make us feel bad.
I want to know how many followers we have on
If
Spotify.
I want to get hard numbers, I could. I think we have statistics on the Spotify creators page.
Oh, right, okay.
But
yeah.
I don't care. I never look there. I'm pleasantly surprised, actually. I didn't expect anybody to be listening on Spotify, but hey, thank you.
Well, law of averages, you're going to get somebody listening always. We just need more.
Just need more. Tell your friends.
So that's right, guys. Tell your friends. We thank you for all your contributions in 2024, but you're not doing enough. So tell your friends, please, and family. And let's make 2025 94% better than 2024. Good night, everybody. All right. We won't leave yet. It's only been 20 minutes. That's not like us.
That's not true. On mine, it's been 40 minutes.
Yeah.
94% more.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, we have a lot to get through still.
Do we actually?
Yeah, didn't you want to talk about more inventions?
All right, let's do a few inventions. Computing, film, and animation. I've never heard of this. Maybe you have. The Archie search engine.
The Archie search engine.
The Archie search engine. I've never heard of the Archie.
Archie like Archie Comics? Search engine?
No, it's a search engine. Well, no, it's not like the Archie Comics. It's just a search engine. Or was a search engine. It was the first internet search engine.
Wow.
It was invented in 1988 by Alan M. Taj at McGill. Those McGillians. So there you go. Canada invented the first search. So every time you use Google, remember the pioneer was a Canadian. So you should thank us for a massive leap. It connected all of the conspiracy theories. You know, we paved the way for all the conspiracy theories and UFO sighting videos and all. If you find it on Google, we paved the way for it. So you're welcome, Internet, for bringing you closer together with the 80% of misinformation that's on the Internet. IMAX. IMAX was created in Canada.
The theater format or whatever.
Theater style, but the movie system. It's a movie system. I haven't been to a lot of IMAX movies, but they're the big ones that kind of make you feel more immersed, right? Like
the thing is, there's two types of IMAX, and I don't know what the official definition is, but there's one that's spectacular. That's the one which is like on a dome, and so that one you feel like you're fully immersed, and like if you just stand up, you'll fall to your death, and you potentially could. So that one is amazing, sure, and that one it's worth whatever to get in. But then there's also like IMAX, just a flat screen, like a regular movie screen, but it's just bigger, I guess. And those aren't as impressive. But I think movies have IMAX screens on their tickets sometimes.
Yeah, they do.
So you'll see like tickets will cost more by like $10 or whatever because it's an IMAX type of screen. I don't know. That's weird to me because I don't know what the difference, like what's the difference between an IMAX, that type of IMAX screen and just a regular movie screen?
So IMAX in general is just a very large screen with a tall aspect ratio and steep stadium seating.
Right. So you can't even call the flat ones like that because those have the same aspect ratio as regular movies.
Yeah. I don't know how they get off with calling them IMAX in movie theaters. But yeah, they say IMAX GT is a premium large format, uses dual laser projectors, which can show 1.43 digital content when combined with a 1.43 screen. Very large screens. Film runs horizontally, so the image width can be greater than the width of the film stock. That's called 1570 format. All this is completely over my head. They can be purpose-built theaters and dome theaters, like you said. And many installations of this type limit themselves to projection of high-quality short documentaries.
That's true. That's mostly what I remember.
Yeah. So I don't know what...
Can you imagine though, like one of these epic films that comes out these days that's really cinematography is really good. It looks very striking, and you put it on an IMAX dome. That'd be amazing.
I know, right? Yeah.
I know they do this sometimes. I hear about like, oh, this movie's coming out in IMAX, and I feel like there probably are some instances where it's that type of IMAX and not just like this flat whatever.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah,
but that's impressive. That's a reason to go to a theater, I think.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people say the IMAX experience is worth it, so I don't exactly know what the difference is. Like you said, like I always thought of it being dome and more immersive and all that, but Clifton Hill does that.
They have an IMAX theater. Okay.
They have an IMAX theater, yeah. That was probably my first IMAX experience, but it was just something small and stupid, like I can't remember what it was, a roller coaster. I was really young, but I remember doing that. I just don't fully remember what it was. It was like a roller coaster experience or something like that, or over the falls or something.
That sounds right. Yeah, I can imagine that.
I remember it was really cool. And then you go to the next IMAX thing in like a theater, and it's like, well, this is just a movie.
I'm wondering, like, why is it that those? Because there's a few museums, like even Ottawa has at least a couple, I think, IMAX domed IMAX screens, and I don't know, I'm sure Toronto has plenty. But I wonder why those museums don't benefit from just putting regular movies to play there. I know it's like probably some licensing or whatever that's causing the difficulties, but I mean that'd be amazing, wouldn't it? Like they could sell out those.
Yeah, but if
those
the movie's
films.
not made for but if the movie's not made for that type of
But
thing, it's
even
probably
like
gonna
even
it's
just
probably gonna look messed up.
even just running old ones, right? Because think about it. I'm sure over the years, at least a few have come out that have been in that format. So well, they could just stream older ones.
Well, maybe they don't think there's any money in that, or the operating costs are gonna outweigh whatever they get from ticket sales for something like that.
I guess.
A newer one probably, but an older one, I mean, you're kind of taking a crapshoot. You gotta staff the venue and all the running costs, and there probably are licensing things. You can't just throw a movie onto a projector and go, let's do this.
I mean, you could. No one's gonna know. It's Canada.
Yeah, I don't know why they do all that stuff. Why they don't do that. I'm sure they have reasons. I'm sure somebody's crunched the numbers. Maybe they do it a certain time of year. They'll be like, oh yeah, Christmas time, we'll play an IMAX version of The Grinch or something.
That's great. Just the Christmas movie, right?
Well, that's when you get the most people, is if you can.
That's true. When everybody's on holiday, it's a good time to do it.
Well, I don't even mean when everybody's on holiday. I just mean when you can, make a theme out of it. And it's popular themes. So.
Well, Halloween would also work then, right?
Yeah, Halloween. Yeah, something scary. Yeah.
Valentine's Day. You could do something on Valentine's Day, right? Like play Deadpool in IMAX, the first one, because it was released on Valentine's Day.
Deadpool in IMAX. That's right. Oh, there you go. So IMAX. What else we got? Java programming was invented by a Canadian.
Wait, the guy, what's his name again?
James Gosling.
That's right. Oh, he's Canadian. Okay.
1994, James Gosling came out of Calgary.
So he's to blame. He's to blame for Java being there.
He's to blame for Java.
No, I have nothing against Java. I think a lot of people do have things against it, but I'm fine with it.
And he's an officer of the Order of Canada. That's a very big...
Is it?
That's a very big, recognition, honor. If you're Canadian, you should want to be an Order of Canada or knighted in some way.
What benefits do you get if you're knighted?
Oh, if you're knighted, you get to be called sir or dame.
And what happens if somebody doesn't call you sir though? What's the pushback?
Oh, you can kill them.
Can you? You get the
Take their head right.
You get the
Take their head right off.
license to kill if
Yeah.
somebody doesn't call you sir.
If somebody disrespects you that way, yeah. So when you get knighted, the king taps you with the sword, right?
That's right.
And afterwards, he gives you the sword.
Oh, he does. I didn't know they gave you the sword.
And then you get to use it on people who don't call you sir.
So are you telling me that if I met Judi Dench and I did not say, "Oh, hello, Dame Judi Dench. It's nice to meet you,"
No. The system's very classic. So the dames, they don't get that.
Oh, really?
There's nothing. Oh yeah.
Oh, that's some
yeah.
sexism right there.
It is, but the monarchy is really.
So what does the woman get
Traditional.
then as a result? Like what's the point of being a dame?
Just recognition, that's all.
That's sad. Nobody wants that.
No, well, yeah, they just get recognition. And if you don't call them dame, then they just scoff. They go, "How dare you?"
Yeah, I can imagine her saying that. Yeah,
In a bad English accent,
Yep.
like we're going to talk about in a little bit.
That's exactly how I imagine Judi Dench would say it,
Yeah.
just to be sarcastic towards you.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so Java. Keyframe animation also.
Whoa, that's a big deal. That's really important, actually. That's the whole point of how do we make it so that we save effort?
That was invented by Nestor Burtnick and Marceli Wine at the NRC in the 1970s. The NRC is the National Research Council.
This is the concept of actually the keyframe animation being you animate only certain frames, but not all of them, and then have some sort of process to automatically generate the frames in between the keyframes.
Yeah, or like The Simpsons does it, just
Not
pay a bunch of
not put anything.
Indian people.
Well, yeah. What's the point? What's the point of putting anything real in there?
I don't know if that's how Simpsons does it anymore, but isn't that how they used to do it?
Yeah.
Like they would just design the keyframes and then they'd ship out the they ship out like the frame to frame work to a foreign
It's Korea. Yeah, they shipped it to Korea.
Korea. Oh, okay.
They made a joke about it in one of the intros or whatever, where it's like they showed
Oh, that's right.
an oppressed Korean factory where people were generating these Simpsons frames.
That's so that they could actually do that, and people will be like, obviously they're just joking.
Well, exactly. But
Yeah.
we know they're
Simpsons
not joking.
knew how to gaslight before gaslighting was a thing.
Yeah, but nobody's going to hate the Simpsons. Like, oh, let them use slave labor. It's the Simpsons. They're above the law. They've been knighted.
We also invented multi-dynamic image technique. I don't really know what that is.
I don't know that either. What's the
film innovation, which shows several images shifting simultaneously on right-angled panes with the overall image in said panes variously containing a single image or forming part of an image completed by one or another thing of frames.
This is probably a case of where a picture is worth 1,000 words. If I just see an animation of this happening, I'd probably get it, but not from the words you just said.
Yeah, that's it. It's like I'm looking at some of the pictures here, and I know what it is. I understand what it is just by looking, but I wouldn't have known that's what it was called. So it's not commonly used, but it definitely probably everybody's seen it.
Do you have an example in mind from a movie?
Well, the two they show are quite old. One is from A Place to Stand from 1967, and one is from The Thomas Crown Affair from 1968.
I don't know either of those.
Yeah, me neither. Okay, no, here's one that I think most people would know, The Brady Bunch. So the title scene of The Brady Bunch where they're all in their own squares.
Oh, so they weren't actually in their own squares. Those were
kind
filmed
of looking
separately.
around. No. Well, they're kind of. Well, no. The thing is that it's like it's a big picture that's cut up into small scenes that act independently of each other.
But what I mean is, like, when they filmed them individually, and then they processed them together. They combined them.
Right.
They weren't actually in their own panes. They didn't build a set where they were like looking out through a square, each of them simultaneously. Oh, that ruins it.
Another modern example is 24, the TV show 24.
Oh, they do that a lot. Yeah, that's right.
They do that a lot in
transitions
24.
and stuff. I never actually watched that show, but I know the shtick.
Yeah, because of The Simpsons.
Exactly. I know the shtick from The Simpsons, but I mean, actually, I know it from The Simpsons, but I also know it from Matt TV. Matt TV did a tremendous parody with Bobby Lee.
Oh, they did with Bobby Lee. Yeah. Yeah, and the one episode of John Cena in it. I remember that.
He was in that, yeah.
And apparently that also laid the groundwork, just to loop things back around, that also laid the groundwork for the IMAX format.
Oh, okay. Well, how things come together.
That's right. So this led into the IMAX. And the last example I have in this category is, I missed a big one. Film colorization.
Whoa.
Was invented in 1983 by a Canadian, Wilson Markle.
Well, what
British
company?
Columbia.
What company? Because film colorization meaning what? Because
first company,
Technicolor.
Image Transform, colored pictures from the Apollo space program to make a full color television presentation for NASA.
Oh, so that must predate Technicolor then.
Yeah, let's see when Technicolor came around.
But Technicolor I feel like it was much older. Because The Wizard of Oz was made, The Wizard of Oz, the original, right?
Yeah, Technicolor was 1916.
Yeah. So, no, this must be something else, the film colorization.
So hold on, let's see what this is. Any process that adds color to black and white, sepia, or other monochrome moving picture images. Essentially, it's modernizing black and white.
Oh, it's not filming it originally in color.
Right.
It's adding color. I see. Because we do, like, even now AI is doing that, right? Like, there's instances of people colorizing photos with AI.
So that was based on this.
I see. Okay. That's good stuff.
The last one is trackball.
Trackball?
Trackball was invented by a Canadian.
Oh, like the mouse alternative.
The mouse
trackball.
thing. Yeah.
I've never used a trackball. I hear that they're quite good, though, for, like, if you have carpal tunnel.
Yeah. I knew some people at work who used a trackball because of that. But, I'm not a big fan of them. But it's just weird. It's a different way of doing it, right?
Yeah, you just have to get used to it. I think it's just a matter of, like, I'm sure if you get used to it, it's probably just as good. I think the benefit of a trackball, though, is that if you're sitting in a place where you don't have much room to move the mouse, a trackball is quite beneficial there.
Yep, that's true.
And also, you get to use a ball. Like, back in the old days, mice had balls on the bottom. They're laser now, but they used to have balls. And trackballs made sense because it's just flipping the mouse upside down, basically, and now you have the ball on the top. But the ball doesn't make any sense to younger people these days because there's no point of reference.
Yep. So that started in Canada. So there you go. First built for the DATAR computer.
The DATAR?
Digital Automated Tracking and Resolving Computer, DATAR.
Ah, okay.
By the Royal Canadian Navy.
For playing Pong.
Yeah, for playing Pong. Yeah, the Navy built a trackball machine to play Pong.
I believe it. Why not? They simulated their naval affairs that way.
What even water does Canada have? They don't have anything.
They have the lakes, the Great Lakes.
They got the small lakes.
They're Great Lakes.
Oh, the Great Lakes. Yeah.
They're pretty great.
Hey, a lot of stuff has happened in the Great Lakes.
Exactly.
I was thinking about the Great Lakes as being these really, not very big bodies of water, but, I guess they kind of sort of are. And, a lot of shipwrecks and deaths and all that happened in them. So obviously they have complicated weather systems, which means they're big enough to have complicated weather systems and current systems and all that. So,
well, there's the whole concept of the lake effect, right? If you're living beside one of those lakes, there's a big chance you're going to get a huge amount of snow during certain periods of the year. And also, they're big enough that not everywhere, obviously, but there's quite a few parts where if you're on one side of the lake, on one of the shores, you can't see the other side.
Yeah, that's where the misconception comes from. Not misconception, but the visual trick comes from for me, because wherever I am, you can always see something.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Lake Erie, I could always see, Buffalo in that. And, here I can always see like Toronto. And so it doesn't look as big as maybe it is if you're looking from a different perspective. But yep, they're very complicated. So they're a little bit bigger. They need 5 or 6 Navy guys to patrol those.
Exactly.
Every once in a while. Yeah.
That's why they need Pong. Keep themselves busy.
That's right. Yeah, during the downtime. Well, there we go. That's all of the Canadian inventions in the computing, film, and animation category. So we didn't do that much, but it was
impressive stuff. Some of the stuff we did do.
Yeah, it wasn't quantitative, but it was qualitative. Not like food. Food was like quantitative and, kind of there. But computing and animation, yeah, we're up there. We're up there. All right. Let's talk about movies.
All right. We're talking about The Princess Switch 2018.
Yep, we are.
All right. So you watched this movie, I can tell.
Yep.
You want me to start or do you want to start?
You go for it.
So, okay. I mean, for me, the movie started kind of slow. It was a bit cringy. But I don't know. It grew on me. I liked it actually for most of it. I would say, let's say, the first 30 minutes were but then I was enthralled by the last hour or something. It was more Christmassy than 8-bit Christmas, at least I'll say that. It had that that Christmas vibe to it that 8-bit Christmas I think was lacking. What I did find though that it was sickly sweet. I don't know if you've ever watched a movie and you felt this way. I think I tend not to watch movies like this often, but it's this feeling of it's just too sweet because there's no actual conflict. Everything feels like a fever dream.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about this movie. It didn't help that I was watching it from 4:30 a.m. to 6 a.m.
Why?
I don't know. I do that. I do that on our podcast movie nights.
You watch them at 4:30 in the morning?
Yeah, and then I sleep till like noon. It works out.
I see.
It puts me in the zone, It keeps it all fresh in my mind for when we talk about it, and it's just, yeah. Anyway, and it's also dark because if I watch it in the morning, it feels like even though I can close my shutters and everything and make it pitch black, it still feels like there's sun out there. So I try to do it at night. The other thing was I was thinking like where is Belgravia, because that's where it's set, the kingdom of Belgravia.
Right.
So apparently it's supposed to be fictional, this kingdom. But then I looked it up. It's actually a real place in central London.
Yeah, but then they wouldn't have a princess.
Exactly. That's why it made no sense to me. Because when I looked it up, I didn't know that it was called the Kingdom of Belgravia. So I look it up, and it's like central London. What the hell? What kind of place is this?
Yeah.
You'd be more likely to be stabbed than become a princess. Another thing, though, I not the movie itself, but it reminded me of Twin Dragons, which is a 1992 Jackie Chan film.
Oh yeah, I can see the resemblance.
No, but here's why I'll talk about that. So it's another kind of Prince and the Pauper story where Jackie Chan plays a gangster at the same time as playing an orchestra conductor. And what I found the parallel here is that both films had romances that also ended up switching. So like the fact that the woman in, like Vanessa Hudgens playing the baker, she was just friends with her partner at the bakery.
Yeah.
The partner then fell in love with Vanessa Hudgens playing the Duchess, and then the prince, blah blah blah. They fell in love with the opposite people. So that happens with Twin Dragons as well. So I don't know. It's just interesting. Do you know if the Prince and Pauper, the story that this is all based on originally, do you know if they have a romance in that, or is that something they added later?
No, I don't really know much about it. That's part of me. Maybe what I was curious about was like, okay, so this movie, it kind of feels like there's really no growth or anything of the characters. And I feel like that's why I was curious if I should have looked it up, but like, was there growth of the characters in Prince of the Pauper? Because it just wasn't a thing on this one.
You're saying because Stacy, the baker, the one that plans everything out, she basically keeps her personality of being neurotic and planning everything out. She doesn't change. And the Duchess is happy-go-lucky, and she doesn't change either.
Yeah, neither of them changes, grows. They don't learn anything about the whole. In my mind, the whole purpose of this is, and that's kind of how they even prefaced it, was like the princess wanted to, kind of figure out things about the common people, which I guess she did, but she didn't grow based off of that. And I just feel like there was no.
That's a good point. I missed that.
There was no plot progression in the movie other than their romantic interests. They just found somebody they liked, and that's kind of how the end of the thing. Like, even the baker, Stacy, when she, the guy kept talking about how uptight she was and not spontaneous, and it was like right from the very start of the switch, that's exactly what she was doing. And there was no like, there was no like she was uncomfortable with it. There was no, like she never presented herself as uptight while she was playing the princess. Other than the part where the guy said, your role, he was kind of doing the typical gender role or whatever. And she didn't really like that. Well, they were on the horses, which by the way, she went from not knowing how to even get on a fucking horse to
not
galloping
dying
away in it. Galloping away, no problem with it, and what had to have been the span of about 60 minutes. So
everything happened so quickly in that movie, eh?
But everything was so natural. It was like, oh, I know how to do a perfect American accent. Oh, I know how to do a perfect Belgravian accent, which is just British. And it's just like,
because it's central London.
Yeah, but it was like, I'm thinking there's not a lot of inner city fucking Chicago people who can pull off a perfect London accent,
but Vanessa Hudgens
British
can.
accent off of nothing. Well, apparently the Stacy can, and then the princess can pull off a perfect American accent.
Well, people, there's so much American media, they can easily do it.
Well, I don't know. So, and then they were like, oh, they know exactly how to carry themselves and who knows what. And then,
yeah, it wasn't as awkward. It wasn't as awkward as it should have been. So okay. Another movie that's, this reminded me of was The Princess Diaries, I think it's called.
Right.
With Anne Hathaway, where she's like a nerd, and then eventually, apparently, she has princess lineage. So she ends up becoming a princess, but she has to learn how to be a princess, and that takes a lot of effort. Like, she has a lot of struggles, and so a big part of the movie's about that. But here they just kind of wash over that. They're like, yeah, 1 hour, we're good.
That's what I mean. There's like nothing in this movie that suggests any character growth, any struggle. The worst part is when they found out they loved the other person. But that was the worst part too, is because they found out they loved the other person. And then instead of trying to figure out how to like make it work or whatever, they was like, oh, I'm going back to my old life
because of duty,
and that's just how it's gonna.
It's all because of duty.
That's just how it's gonna be. But there was like nothing about that. Like, it was just the movie was absolutely atrocious.
So hold on,
the plot was
horrible. Hold on. The other thing, another thing I found interesting was the fact that the partner to Stacy, the baker, I forget what his name is, but the fact that he wanted, like, he liked Stacy, but he didn't like the quirks, her personality. But then suddenly, now we have this version of Stacy that doesn't have those quirks of personality, looks exactly the same. and now he's in love with her. If you think about it, it's a bit weird, isn't it? Because he's
Yeah.
basically in love with Stacy, but not the parts that he doesn't like. And now he has Stacy, but just exactly the way he wants. If you really step back and look at it, it's pretty weird. And I guess vice versa as well. But I think it was more. It felt more apparent to me because they were friends for so many years apparently.
Right. And then the ending where they're just like, oh, we're just gonna switch lives.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
that works, right?
that's not the whole start of the premise of the movie is that this princess has to get married to the prince for international relations. And then they just completely throw that away, like, oh, I'm just gonna marry this commoner that I've known for 2 days.
Maybe this is why Brexit happened.
Yeah, there you go. That's right. Yeah. Get rid of these guys.
Central London, right? Oh man, we're losing it. All the international relations because of the Duchess wanted to marry a commoner.
And then the princess who lived this extremely privileged life is all of a sudden going to get with this commoner based on 2 days of what essentially was still fairy tale situation. And she's going to go back to Chicago with this guy.
Because did you see him topless? That's why.
Yeah.
She was like,
Yeah.
oh man, look at him.
Yeah.
And then she asks Stacy, like, have you ever seen him topless? Come on, there were some funny moments too. You have to admit.
Yeah.
Vanessa, I did like how silly Vanessa Hudgens played it. Like, I know, she was trying and everything, but you could tell how silly some of the stuff she did was.
I don't know. That's not enough to do anything for me. And then obviously, the scenes where they were like what was the one scene when were they in a car? And they were in a car on a sleigh or something like
Carriage.
that. And was it carriage? Carriage. And man, it was so obviously like for a 2018 movie, it looked like something that you pull out of the 90s because it was very obviously one of those situations where they're sitting in a static thing and they're just using a CGI background. So, I mean, the production quality was not very good.
Actually, here's the thing that struck me. So why was the prince's haircut so uneven? Why was one side, where the ear is, where the hair around the ear is?
Yeah.
On his right, it was cut way more. There was way more skin there than on the left. And man, it didn't bother me, but like you could tell every time, every scene. As soon as he turns slightly, it's like, man, there's way less hair on this side. Like this is a haircut that I've messed up like this before in my life when I cut my own hair. And I can tell. And this was a case of that.
Yeah, that's not something I would ever notice. So
well,
I'll leave that
there we
one
go.
with you.
That's my one con. No, but another funny thing I found was the cake. So because they forgot about it, like they forgot it's supposed to be about the baking, and yet they only show the baking for like 5 minutes. First of all, the little sub villain, the one that cut the cord on the mixer.
Right.
I found I thought, okay, maybe they're gonna poison the ingredients or do something. She cuts the cord. She leaves. It's ridiculous. Like, what kind of villain is that? What did she expect? Like, oh, we can sabotage them by just taking the mixer out of the picture. No, God forbid we can use our hands to mix things.
Well, I saw that and like I was like, they could probably just ask the officials for another mixer.
Or that
somebody has clearly cut the cord on the mixer.
It's not even subtle.
I don't think any official's just gonna be like, well, that was, I don't know.
It came
go
like
with it,
that,
I guess.
We don't know what kind of outlets you used in Chicago.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But then also when they made the cake, that was fascinating. They go from nothing to this like 5-foot cake. I found that just ridiculous. Like, I get it, it's 5 hours or whatever they have, but man, that's a huge ass cake.
I don't know. It was not a good movie. I knew it wasn't gonna be a good movie. It was not a good movie.
Well, did you think it was at least Christmassy?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't know. You said it was more Christmassy than 8-Bit Christmas. I don't know if I necessarily
I
agree
still
with that.
stand by that. I said that unironically because I do think it had a lot more of the typical Christmas flavor stuff.
I mean, other than like, oh, there was I mean, I get it. Other than like, oh, there was a Santa Claus and like, oh, can we go talk to the Santa Claus? And then they did the little thing at the orphanage or whatever it was and gave the presents out. It was passively Christmassy. Like that's the same way 8-Bit Christmas was kind of passively Christmassy. I don't know. I think they were both clearly Christmas movies, but not centered around Christmas by any means. But yeah, no, it was fine being in there. It wasn't any more Christmas than like Die Hard. Like it's just you could have said it any time of year and it wouldn't have lost anything.
Well, no, I mean the presents and stuff, the whole orphanage thing, that's important. They did need to have that.
No, you can do that without it being Christmas time. Turns out you can give toys to orphans at any time of year.
No, that's not how it works.
Oh, my bad. I misunderstood.
At first,
I misunderstood.
When the prince goes, oh, I decided that we're gonna visit the orphanage once a month. At first, I was gonna say, I decided we're gonna visit the orphanage once a year on Christmas. I'm like, oh my god, no, don't say that. That's terrible.
There you go. Yeah, there you go.
We only care about the orphans one time a year.
Anyways, so guys,
Merry Christmas.
yeah, Merry Christmas, quite literally.
Just for the sake of this podcast episode, we decided, you know what, we're going to cut off abruptly the episode recording on Saturday, and we say 4 days later on Christmas, that's when we're going to finish it.
Yep, that was our
just
thought
for the
process
sake
entirely.
Of appeasing Jesus and Santa Claus.
It was art. It was a decision based on art.
Not technical issues.
Not technical issues like my power supply unit failing and having to buy and install a new one
and doing it yourself. So there we go. It's a Christmas miracle.
That's right. It was a Christmas miracle. Anyways, 4 days ago, but not really 4 days ago, depending on your perspective, we were talking about, what was the movie called?
Princess Switch.
Princess Switch. And we
were talking about how much you
opinions.
loved it. That was the whole point.
We were talking about definitely not that, but yeah, good enough. Anyways, King of the Hill. Princess Switch or Pump Up the Volume?
So I'm still sticking with Pump Up the Volume. The more I talk about it, the more I think about it, the more that movie just deserves a place in my heart.
Right. And I remember that comment means a lot less now that now that you've admitted you watch these movies at 4:30 in the morning.
That's right. But hey, I mean, that's what makes them pop, you know?
Sure does. And I will stick with Beautiful Boy with Steve Carell and Timothée Chalamet. So why don't you tell us what our next movie is?
All right, let's see. Let's bring up the random movie generator. This is no longer a holiday movie. We are past that. Christmas is in the past, in the far distant... Well, it will be in a couple hours. But yeah, let's see. Randomize. Marauders. Wow, this is going to be interesting.
2016?
Well, I think. Let me check. It doesn't...
Christopher Maloney, Bruce Willis.
2016, yes, indeed. Do you want to know why I said wow?
Why?
The reviews on that random page, you know how they give you like a little summary based on the two guys' I guess, who made the thing, and then the average review. So one of the guys has NA because... he just said, screw it, I'm not going to watch this movie. The other guy has a pleasing 10 out of 100, and the average is also 10 out of 100. So that's promising for me.
So on Rotten Tomatoes, it holds a 22% and an average rating of 4.1. This was the time period where Bruce Willis was kind of, maybe towards the beginning of the time period where Bruce Willis was kind of being taken advantage of. Like during his mental decline into the aphasia stuff, and when he was just kind of cranking out movies, and not quite as bad as like the 2020 stuff, but yeah. So yeah, I wouldn't expect much from this movie, but it's Bruce Willis, so it's also got Dave Bautista in it. Oh, okay, all right.
Just that you mentioned that aspect of it, I do want to see a movie where he's on the decline, because I do like Bruce Willis, and I don't think I've seen many recent films from him. I don't remember what the latest one was. It was a long time ago, though. Probably like the early 10s.
It's probably more towards the beginning of that time period, so I don't know what you'll exactly see. If you really want to see that, you got to look at, like I said, look at something from like 2020.
Okay, well, but still, it'll be interesting to see. I wanted to compare him in this movie to him in like even the worst Die Hard, let's say.
There you go.
Because even the worst Die Hard is a pretty good movie.
There you go. So that's what we're doing. I better write this down. I got to watch it on January 3rd at not 4 a.m.
3:59 for you?
I usually try to watch it when I'm eating dinner on Friday. Sometimes I do watch it after I stream, but only if I don't have time to watch it during dinner.
I can't do it. I can't watch movies, especially ones I haven't seen while eating. It just takes me out of it.
Oh, well, I'm fine with that.
I can deal with it for like sitcoms or something like that, but movies, I got to be in the zone at 4:30 a.m.
Right. That makes sense. Absolutely. So the question then is it when you're going to bed, or is it before you're going to bed, or you wake up early to watch it?
Oh, that's a mystery. We'll leave.
Okay. All right. All right. I guess we're leaving that one alone. All right. It's time for Word of the Fortnight, but it's not Word of the Fortnight. Because it's the end of the year, we're going to look at some of the major dictionaries' words of the year. So I got 5 here.
5 dictionaries?
5 dictionaries, 5 words.
And what are the dictionaries?
Oxford, Merriam-Webster.
All right, Merriam-Webster is the one we use for Word of the Fortnights. Good.
There you go. Cambridge, dictionary.com, and Collins. All right, so let's start with Oxford because it's the first one on my list. This one is not a word, it's 2 words. And Oxford's word of the year for 2024 is brain rot.
Oh, okay. I've heard that before, but I don't know what it means. Tell us.
The supposed deterioration of a person's mental or intellectual state, especially viewed as a result of overconsumption of material considered to be trivial or unchallenging.
So 90% of YouTube.
And it says particularly online content. And that's, of course, these dictionary places, they try to choose something that may have been relevant in 2024. So brain rot's a big thing with all the misinformation around the U.S. elections and just in general, the further rise of the TikToks and the YouTube Shorts and the Instagram Reels or whatever they're called, all contribute to brain rot. It was first recorded in 1854 in Henry David Thoreau's book Walden.
Did it actually mean the same thing at the time? Brain rot of society because they were reading magazines instead of books?
Probably. I don't know. It doesn't say. There you go. So that's Oxford's. Oxford's is brain rot. So Merriam-Webster, their word of the year is polarization. Polarization.
With a Z, because it's American.
Yeah, with a Z. Division into 2 sharply distinct opposites, especially a state in which opinions, beliefs, or interests of a group or society no longer range along a continuum, but become concentrated at opposing extremes. So again, another word that was chosen because of the political climate, namely in the United States this year. Widely used across the media landscape, Fox News was a big one. That dates back to the 1800s when they first described light waves.
But this was used scientifically back then.
It's shifted a little bit since then.
It's no longer about the light. They forgot it was about the light.
That's right. That's right. So that's Merriam-Webster's. Cambridge's word is manifest.
Manifest as a verb or a noun?
As a verb. To use methods such as visualization and affirmation to help you imagine achieving something you want in the belief that doing so will make it more likely to happen. Why manifest? It was looked up almost 130,000 times in the Cambridge Dictionary website, making it one of the most viewed words of 2024.
It means nobody knew what it was.
That's right. That's right. In 2024, the word manifest jumped from being mainly used in the self-help community and on social media to be mentioned widely across mainstream media. When famous performers, star athletes, and influential entrepreneurs claim they have achieved something because they manifested it, they are using this verb in a more recent sense to use specific practices to focus your mind on something you want to try to make it become a reality.
I can't imagine that only happened this past year. This started during COVID.
Well, this is where it's kind of broken out. Increasing number of manifesting influencers promoting scientifically unproven practices. So just people kind of wanting to become influencers and doing it using, the amount of things I've seen this year of all these weird devices and things like that on the TikToks and all that. A lot of it's become A lot of people are trying to become influencers and pushing things on you. You know, the advertisers coming up, and
It used to just be infomercials, and now it's influencers pushing their gadgets on you in real
it
time.
really is.
Speaking of the word manifest, there should be a male influencer whose channel will be just called Manifest,
Yeah, exactly.
just to play on that, and then be ridiculed for it. And then a woman one would come up and call it Womanifest. Huh?
There you go. So next, dictionary.com's word of the year, demure.
Demure. Oh man. You know what's funny? I was this close to putting demure as one of the words of the fortnight.
Oh,
It
really?
would have been, I think, 2 weeks ago, it would have been on the list. But I decided, it's running long. I'm not going to say it this time around.
Ah, there you go. There you go. Well, here it is. Demure means reserved, modest, and shy. It's typically used of a woman. So why do they select demure as the word of the year? It experienced a meteoric rise in usage in 2024. Between January and the end of August, it saw a nearly 1,200% increase in usage in digital web media alone. And this was a direct result of a TikTok trend where people would say something to the effect of something was very, very demure and very mindful. And I don't know why it caught on, but it did catch on. And there were just a ton of TikTok videos where people were using that phrase in a meme-esque way. So used to describe someone who's reserved, quiet, or modest. New usage has spread through social media. One used to describe refined and sophisticated appearance or behavior in various contexts, such as at work and on a plane. So that was dictionary.com's word. And you know what? I kind of get it. Actually, very interesting. Their runner-up on their short list was brain rot.
Oh, well, there we go.
Almost had the same word twice.
But that just tells you that brain rot is probably the one to watch out for.
It's true. Watch out for the brain rot, everybody. All right, last one, Collins. Collins Dictionary word of the year is brat.
Brat?
It's brat.
B-R-A-T?
Yep. Characterized by a confident, independent, and hedonistic attitude. Inspired by the Charlie XCX album. Don't know what that is. So I guess it's a music thing. It's a cultural phenomenon that has resonated with people globally. And brat summer, I guess was a term, established itself as an aesthetic and way of life.
Charlie XCX is a English singer and songwriter. So probably some sort of pop-esque music.
I got you.
So, but brat as in like a noun? The noun brat?
Adjective, characterized by a confident, independent, and hedonistic attitude.
So as an adjective, that's so weird. Because it's like I've never seen it as an adjective. Bratty, I've seen as an adjective.
Well, that's what it is. That's what Collins is saying it is.
So Collins defines brat as both a noun and an adjective now.
Brat is now officially an adjective, according to Collins.
But it's also listing it as a noun.
It can be a noun, yes, of course.
Okay, because otherwise I would never use Collins for a dictionary ever again. If it suddenly just said, "Oh, you know what? Let's do
It's
it."
not a noun anymore. It's an adjective.
We're
just changing
it
it up. Well, what these dictionaries do is you'll find, like, I don't know if they do it at the end of the year or the beginning of the year or at some random spot, maybe when a new edition or whatever comes out. But they add to the dictionary. They see how people are using words and they adjust. Like, I know there's a dictionary that, and I don't remember what dictionary it is because it's been several years now, but they literally added to the definition, literally, a non-literal definition, because people use it. People will say literally and they don't mean it literally. So that dictionary has added that definition to the word literally, just based on how it's used. So I guess brat, I haven't heard it used. I haven't heard this word, other than in the noun form, but it must have had some significance in the community where they said, yeah, we're gonna adjectivize it.
It sounds like something a Brit would say. If you go there, you know how sometimes they'll use slang by dropping certain parts of a word, and yet it's still an adjective. That's what I feel like brat is for them.
Yeah, absolutely. That could be it. Maybe Collins is more of a British dictionary, so they follow that trend, and maybe I haven't heard it over here because we're just not using it that way. And again, on their short list is brain rot. So brain rot was all over the place.
So brain rot is the word to beat.
Brain rot kind of was the word to beat. I didn't see what the short list was on the other sites. Hold on, let's check. Let's check if there was any commonalities between the other ones. Oh, Oxford had demure as a runner-up.
Wow. Okay.
Merriam-Webster had demure as a runner-up. Oh, they also had Fortnite as a runner-up.
There we go. Fortnite as in like Fortnite is spelled
a regular
as a
Fortnite,
Fortnite?
but it came from 14 days. But it came from Taylor Swift's song, not us. It wasn't us. Sorry.
So the words of the future are chosen by the pop stars.
That's how it works. That's what makes it popular. It's right in the name. Short list from Cambridge. Brat was on there.
Also as an adjective.
A brat is a child who misbehaves. However, although using this term as an adjective is linguistically interesting, flipping a negative term to use it defiantly positive ways is not an uncommon way we use language. So actually, they're advocating for its use as an adjective also.
And in a positive way.
It's not, well, they're saying it's not an uncommon way we use language, but it doesn't amount to a new meaning that they would enter into their dictionary at this time.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I wonder if they're going to get pushback.
Cambridge is standing up to Collins. It's the Cambridge Collins Brat Wars of 2025. Yeah. So get ready.
Those brats.
Yep. There you go. So there we go. Those were the words of the year, according to, I don't know if I'd say the top 5, but
5 dictionaries, according to some
from 5 dictionaries.
We don't know
That's
who.
right.
It doesn't matter who.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Just 5 dictionaries. That's right. All right. On to our last segment of the year. It's time for Pokemons. Do 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 do. So we are rating Pokemon sounds, Pokemon cries of the legendary Pokemon that currently exist in the Pokemon universe, plus Scyther. And we don't know who's who. We're just going purely based on the cries. We are firmly into round 2. And so some old ones, some new ones. So let's start here. We're on round 49. We're on matchup 49 between 31 and 95. Here's 31.
Oh, that's a hefty roar.
Yep.
I like it.
That's a good one. Let's see if 95 stacks up. Would you say 95 stacks up?
No, well, 95 is the one we've heard before, but I don't like it as much. It's nice, but yeah, this one, I like it because it has a bit of a, it goes up and down a little bit. It doesn't just, it's not one of those boring roars.
That's true. It's not a boring
It's got
roar.
some style to it.
It's got some range, some style.
It's brat.
To be fair, yeah, 31 is brat, 95 is demure. That's
Yeah, let's go with that.
Yeah. So you're going with brat.
Yeah.
All right, I will also go with brat. I agree. I like the better roars more than the synthetic Mew-esque sounds. Matchup 50 between 15 and 50. Here's 15. Kind of started off as a roar, but ended up as kind of a electric something or other. You know what I mean?
No, it's like when you're filling up a water bottle. Or not a water bottle, but just a bottle. You know how like it starts, it's the same sound as the cylinder fills up, and then as you get closer to the top, it changes pitch because the opening is smaller. And that little bit at the end, that's what that last bit sounds like. That's what it is. It's filling up a water bottle.
There you go. That's a very apt description. Okay, number 50.
Oh, I like that one.
Yeah, that one kind of sounds like just a very small bird or something.
Yeah, but it's like it's a proper cry, You know how you always complain about, it's
true.
It's the grass underneath their feet, it's the garbage inside the dump truck, that type of thing. This one's actually a bird.
Noise. Yeah.
The other one's the water, It's not the water bottle.
No. This one sounds like an early Pokemon though, because it kind of reminds me of like Voltorb or Electrode or something like that.
Yeah, it could be Zapdos.
Yeah, but I'm going with 50. I do like the little chirping bird.
It's mocking us. I like to think that it's mocking us.
Yeah, there you go. That's right. All right, on to 51 between 18 and 82. Here's 18.
Wow, that's a hefty one.
There's a lot going on there.
That's like the bird mocking us and then flying away.
That's true, with like a really heavy wing flaps
yeah.
too. Jeez. Okay, that was interesting. 82.
Oh, this is the death horse.
The death horse. Yeah. Oh, this is a hard one because I actually really do like 18.
That's the thing. I like both of them. Yeah, it's getting tricky.
But I really like the horse. This one's hard. Oh my lord. I'm going with 18. I'm going with the depth of sound on this one.
Yeah, I like 18 because, well, first of all, I know that there's another horse sound eventually that was better, I think, even though the 82 was like, it's like it's the death horse. But I do like 18. I think it's very interesting. It has layers.
It has layers. It surprised me. It takes a lot to surprise me. This one surprised me the further it went on, the more I was surprised. I didn't think my surprise level could escalate so much in 2 seconds, but it literally did. All right, 18's moving on.
I told you a story in just 2 seconds that most
It's
video
true.
games can't tell in 10 hours.
Yeah, in 40 hours. Yeah, it's true. Well, 18's moving on. There we go. All right, last one. 52, 7, and 58. Here's 7. Okay, kind of like a ghost-esque Pokemon or something, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And 58.
Oh, that's the monkey. That's the monkey stuck in a metal canister.
It's like it's talking.
Yeah, it's trying to get out of the metal canister. It's
Okay, hold on. Let's hear them both again. 7.
Nah, I like the monkey. That one.
Yeah, I was
That
gonna say,
one
I like
has.
58.
It's got oomph to it. The ghost is nice, I guess. I mean, you could argue that it's nice, but ultimately, we've seen better ghost sounds. We've heard better ghost sounds.
That's right. Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. Yeah, no, I like 58. I like the fact, like I said, that it sounds like it's talking. It's more than just a random cry. It sounds like it's actually trying to communicate. It's probably the first cry we've had that actually sounds like it's trying to communicate. So,
Yeah, like get me out of this metal box.
no, the ball. Get me out of this digital ball that's squeezing my entire frame into a fraction of its typical size.
I guess they're all foldable. Every Pokemon. It's not like they're shrinking or they're becoming electricity or whatever they explain it as. No, they're literally folding them because their bones are malleable.
Anyways, guys, that is all for 2024. We hope you had a Merry Christmas. We hope you have a Happy New Year. And we can't wait to continue doing this in 2025.
That's right.
Any final words for our vast audience?
Let me think. No.